In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to make this very simple, beginner-friendly wire wrap that is super secure and can be used on just about any stone shape. As you can see here, I've done it on a square, an oval, and a teardrop, but it could also be done on a heart, and you could probably also get away with doing it on a tumble. In this tutorial, I am going to start out with two 10-inch lengths of 22 gauge wire. And with this particular design, you can also use 24 or 20, but I wouldn't go outside of those three sizes. Here you can see me cutting those and straightening them, at which point I'm going to find the center of those wires right at 5 inches, and I'm going to firmly grasp the wire between my thumb and forefinger, crossing those two wires over to make an X shape, and then crossing them again to create a twisted braid shape. At this point, I am just checking the cabochon to see which side looks best up because labradorite is directionally flashy sometimes. Positioning the stone and bringing those wires around the back to create another X shape and adjusting the wires until it sits in a way that I like. I will look at it from the front and from the back to ensure that it is sitting evenly before I once again cross the wires over each other to create another braided shape, giving it just a little bit more adjustment as I go before I bring those wires forward and through that initial loop that we made. And I'm not going to pull that first one all the way through until I have the second one in. I'm making sure to keep the feet of those wires on the outside of the body of the wire, at which point I'm going to grab the wires one at a time, going from side to side to pull them tight and get that stone nice and secured. If you use pliers instead of your fingers to do this, I suggest going as close to the end as you can, because if the wire breaks, you're only going to lose a small piece then. I am then going to use my thumbnail just to separate these two wires down at the bottom. This is not a required step of the process. I just like how it looks better. Coming back up to those end wire pieces, I'm going to cross them over each other and then bend them back up straight in the middle right there. And I'm going to grab my nylon pliers here just to hold them flat while I pull them straight so they don't have a curve to them. Now here I'm going to use a pair of bail making pliers. You do not have to have bail making pliers for this design. You can just use a pen or a chopstick to get this exact same process to happen for you. But I'm going to bring those wires down around the back like this until they are straight down with the bail pliers creating a loop. And then I will turn the entire thing, not removing the bail pliers, and I'm going to grab one leg of my wire and wrap it firmly around the front and coming back around to the back. And then I'm going to repeat that process with the second leg, bringing it firmly around the front and then bring it to the back. At this point, I will remove my bail pliers after I pull those wires tight once again with my pliers. Our next step is going to be to take those two wires and cross them over one more time to further secure that bail. Once they are crossed over and pulled tight, and you might need to adjust the bail once again right here if it gets a little bit out of alignment, you can go ahead and grab your flush cuts, and you're going to want to trim it off so it has just about a 1/4 inch of length left on it. You don't want too much length here, but you do want at least a good amount so that you can bend it up and tuck it into the bail in a way that it does not poke on the back. So I am just bending those wires up and into the center of the bail, giving them just the slightest bit of like a half rounded circle and then securing them with a bit of a pinch with my tweezer nose pliers. And there you have it, a nice beginner-friendly, simple design that can be used on just about any size or shape rock. And it only takes, once you get the hang of it, about 10 minutes to make. In an effort to make my tutorials easier to find, I'm ending all of them with my logo and using that as the cover for my tutorials, so that you can find them on TikTok just a bit easier.